Hello and welcome to the Texas Truck Channel. Behind me I have the all-new F-150 TREMOR. That's right, this is the third installment in the Ford truck Tremor line. And this is our first chance to drive it. And right off the bat I can tell you, it looks absolutely phenomenal. The orange accents are everywhere. They tie into the running lights really well. And even the tow hooks are orange. Now they're not red. Maybe they work differently than the red ones. Just a joke, we know they're there. And that's one of our favorite parts off the get-go. Also, this thing is super, super tall. I almost think we should call it the Ford Highboy instead of the Tremor. Now, this thing slots in above the FX4 and below the Raptor. As you know, we have a Raptor in our long-term fleet, an original Raptor, an old one, and I can tell you right off the bat, if you're not jumping this thing, this rides a lot better. So day-to-day, it's a lot better. And my wife's immediate comment was, why is this so smooth? Well, the answer is, it's brand new, and these shocks are not meant to fly, they're meant to do really well on dirt roads, and they are good at that. Now, you do have twin tube shocks in the rear, monotubes in the front, so these are not a external reservoir high-end shock, but these are better than your FX4 shocks, and we're gonna get into all of that when we do the long-term review, not the long-term, the full review. We'll get the wheels off of this, we'll get technical, we'll also do the hill climb, show you how good it is at that. There's a little hat trick there. And of course our 0 to 60 runs. But for now, I want to show you some things that we don't have time to put in the full review, so we're going to do that now. Up close and personal, you have the wheels. They are 18-inch, and they have general grabber ATs around them. These are basically a BFG KO2 knockoff, and that's okay. That's a great thing to knock off. Something that makes the Tremor what it is you have a lift block in the rear. And as you can tell, it's way higher in the rear than the front. There's a big rake on this. And Mike Levine from Ford has actually responded to this and said, level it. And that tells you that the intent is there, that this is probably for someone that's gonna level their rig. If you have a Raptor, you probably don't wanna lift it. This one, you can. Now, in typical Ford fashion, you have the dropping tailgate. That can be dropped from the key fob as well. There is a latch release. You do have the C-clamp ports here and the measurements. So if you're doing any kind of woodwork, it's there. Also comes with the old man step. Let's get into that, which is a fan favorite of old men. And I'll tell you right now, if you've got a rear end that is this tall, it is helpful to use this thing. It's great. This one also has the Ford Tough Bed liner. We like that a lot. And one of the coolest parts is the dual exhaust tips. Those are great. It does have rear tow hooks, very similar to the original Raptor. And we are going to have a Raptor here for review in a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. We'll get into all those details, the variances between them. You get a bedside banner, naturally. I will say that this stone gray metallic, man, is it good looking. It may not come out in camera great, but it is metallic as all get out, and we absolutely love it. You can tell that leaf spring in the rear has got a big arc to it. Tells you this thing can take some weight, and this is definitely going to be a preferred feature for overlanders. That's the other thing. If you didn't want to level this thing and load this up with a rooftop tent and all your camping gear, it's going to be just right. So this is probably going to be a good pick for that. Now, we do have the 3.5 liter twin turbo that we're used to from Ford now, and it is solid as always. It also has a 10-speed automatic, which is spotty as always. And what we mean by that is it just can't pick a gear. This one happens to be better than most of the applications for it, but it is still there. It's still not quite as determined as others. Now, here's what it's like in a 150 with kid seats. This is a booster seat with a back. This is a forward-facing child seat for our 2-year-old, and you've got a ton of room. This right here is why the 4-door truck is the modern-day sedan. It's awesome. You have lights up top, and this one does not have a sunroof. You can only get a panoramic or a slick top like this. You have a ton of headroom, really like that. A power rear window. And these seats do fold up. You'll see there's a cool pattern. This is actually cloth. It looks kind of like a techno camo. And you'll see there's a bunch of orange stitching everywhere to go along with the theme. We really love it. These side steps, they are rhino lined, or look like they're rhino lined, and they're steel. And they're up and high out of the way. They're not the lowest point. And then the right spot. They don't drag your calves completely when you get out of it. For taller drivers like myself, that's a bit annoying. I get in some vehicles with side steps and it just drags your calf and gets mud on it. It's frustrating. Now, coming up front, we have the Tremor embroidering on the back, and you also have this kind of techno camo going on, which is really cool. The orange stitching on the headrest. that continues on the console. Now this is the mid package, which gives you the 12-inch screen, and also you have the camera functions up here, and you have a trail turn assist, which is what we call the giggle button. If you've ever driven a Bronco, it's pretty cool. It'll lock the inside rear tire when you're turning sharp. Makes it really awesome in the dirt. Helps this thing turn on a dime. It's really good. And this has that. You also have the workstation here. So you can have your Chick-fil-A, or if you're in Texas, get your barbecue, or just work, have your laptop out, maybe edit some videos, who knows. We do have the bigger center cluster display. That's pretty neat, I like that. But it does maintain analog gauges, which we're happy with. And you also have your dual Ford glove box. That's always been popular for sure. This particular rig comes in at $63,000 as equipped, has the mid group, and the Torsen front diff, which is the important part, the one mechanical advantage that you do have. Carrying it around, we do have zone lighting, which is cool. You can go into the cluster of the truck, and you can also control which side gets lighting, or all sides. I've actually had that to be really helpful. Come back around, you see the awesome nose on this thing. It just looks so good. The C-clamps, this is kind of a Ford theme. You'll see this in 250s as well. Kind of gives you that C-bar on both sides. Looks really good. The bronze and the grille ties into that marker like great. Now you're looking here, these are active air shutters. They will open and close while you're on the highway as needed for cooling. I think if we remote start it here, we can probably see them working. They're open now. And there you go, they've shut. Just like that. And that's how this thing gets 20 miles a gallon on the highway. We've actually seen 21 out of it, which is pretty good. But I will say it's still an eco or boost. If you're in that throttle, expect 15 all day long. But that's still better than an old Raptor. All right, thanks for watching. We'll have more on this truck later in the full review. I cannot wait to get in the hill test. It has a bit of a hat trick, and the way that it gets up, I love that. Can't wait to show it to you. Stay tuned for that full review, and we'll have more. Let us know if you have any questions on the Tremor, and we will do our best to answer them.